Welcome back to Taylor by Nature, where I discuss topics pertaining to nature, our true nurturer. Today's topic of discussion is in reference to the flower of life and the tree of life, which Terrence Howard describes the flower of life as a symbol representing the fundamental pattern of the universe, a model illustrating the interconnectedness of all things, and a geometric figure that, when opened properly, reveal whole new wave conjugation and in between spaces of the seen and unseen. Interestingly, Terrence Howard referred to the tree of life as the fundamental geometric pattern similar to the flower of life, which he believed hold the key to understanding the universe, structure, and energy. But what is even more fascinating is his usage of the word conjugation, which is also a biological term that refers to the temporary fusion of organism, especially as part of a sexual reproduction. You may be wondering, how does the flower of life and the tree of life connects? Well, we don't have to surmise because we know that trees pollinate and bloom flowers that produce fruit, and fruit have seeds that produce future offspring, which explain why humans and angels are commonly referred to as trees because they all produce offspring. You see, in our ancient tongue, which is commonly referred to as the ancient Aramaic, things that function the same are considered the same because the language creates images of itself by mirroring function in nature. So now that we know that the language mirrors function in nature, we must now consider its functional duality aspect as it relates to biology. One aspect that the so called angels utilized was conjugation flight method to arrive here, coupled with linchpin unlimited bonding technology, which Ezekiel noted their appearance and modality in Ezekiel 10, verse 10, which state, "And as far as the appearance, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel." Other verses within the Bible also collaborate their modality, such as 2 Kings 2:15 through 16, Ezekiel 11 and 1, and Ezekiel 3:12 through 14. The other aspect we must consider is the biological meaning of conjugation that refer to the temporary fusion of organism, especially as part of sexual reproduction, which Adawa'ama, which we call Adam and Eve in English, represent as to their instructions in Genesis 1 verse 28 that instruct them to replenish the earth. The word replenish is a present participle, which implies they should actively, in the present, reproduce themselves and populate the planet. But later in Genesis 3, verse 3, they are warned not to eat or touch of a particular tree, which reads, "But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die," which they did die by not adhering to set instructions that benefited them. I mentioned earlier that trees represent humans and angels because they all produce offspring. Now let's consider how our bodies eat, which is the action of both intake and expelling of things. Remember that the language that they were using mirrors function in nature. So what part of our bodies function in this manner? Our mind, which taking things and we expel them or forget them. Our nose, we take in air, expels it. Our actual mouth, we take in food and expel it. And the female mouth below her waistline As usual, the so-called English language give us half the story and omit the fact that she was eaten, also known as fornicating, with the mouth below her waistline, which led to their demise, which is the mixing of diverse unique species that was forbidden due to its destructive outcome. I would surmise that the temporary fusion of organism, especially as part of sexual reproduction, is unlawful amongst unique species. In other words, the rebel angels initiated this unthinkable action that corrupted creation on earth by way of Gada, which is altering or genetically destroying of their temple or their bodies. We can ascertain that so-called Adam and Eve represent earth first sprouted bloom flowers as far as humanity goes, and the so-called angels represent the tree that had the knowledge to traverse here and exercise good deeds or evil intent, which the fallen rebels amongst them interrupted the growth of the sprouted flowers that that's endemic to the earth by stunting their growth. How do we know this? Because hidden within the word pyramid is the letters IYR that is pronounced ear in English and defined in the Hebrew lexicon as watcher angel. The word tree is just an anglicization of the word ear written backwards for watcher angel, which is the tree of knowledge being described in Genesis 2 verse 17 and 3 verse 3 that are also called genie, which is the root of the word engineer. In all, this means so-called angels, our star brothers, traveled to earth by way of linchpin technology that's chronicled throughout the Bible. They also mimic secret geometry within the flower of life to form structures they call pyramid to harness Earth's unlimited energy, because the pyramid shape is one of many stable structures within the flower of life that have been purposely omitted from our language. In closing, the Bible not only shows you the wicked angelic interference that has destroyed so many lives by negating human autonomy, it also candidly revealed that the Bible consists of writings that detail outside interference from forces that were not and are not benevolent. I hope you guys enjoy this presentation, and please like and share if you do find interest. Thank you.